Hey, what's up, everyone? This is SnackBox. Hope you all are having an amazing day. Today, we are joined by a special guest. Some people call him the Pizza Man, and it's the one and only KruYseN. Welcome, brother. How you doing today?
Fine, brother. Thanks for having me here. It's a pleasure.
Nice to have you on, man. I'm a huge fan of your content, and I've been watching you for a very long time. And yeah, let's get straight to it. What I want to talk about with you and discuss is my favorite content of the game, which is Chimera. Most of my viewers know that, and yeah, so there are a lot of things to talk about, but I want to talk about especially trials with you because I know you're an expert in that regard, especially when it comes to the end game. I want to show you something that I'm working on.
Let's go.
Which is a list of champions that I gathered and which I think are the most important ones when it comes to Chimera trials. All right, so this is the list that I've been working on, and it is still work in progress, so it's definitely not finished. And, you know, there might be some missing champs. But what I wanted to do is give an overview of champions that are, you know, performing the best, right? And also what I try to do here is show an overview of the debuffs and buffs that all these champions are providing, but at the same time, what trials they are enabling. And
That's really interesting. It's going to be really helpful. Even more for people that don't have a full parameter when they look into what to do every week, because the trials changes every week.
yes,
So if you don't have in your mind already, okay, I need to do that to achieve that, I need that to do that to achieve that. These champions can achieve that. This list, this spreadsheet is going to help a lot people to visually fit their goals of the week into which champions they can use. This is going to be really interesting.
yeah, yeah, exactly. That's what I basically tried to do. It is very hard because even though some of these champions are providing some buffs and debuffs, that doesn't necessarily mean that you can do those trials, right? So I still want to, visual or like get a vision for a team setup. And yeah, so basically what you can do here is, for example, if you need to complete, let's say, trial number 1, the easy trial, right? And you can basically sort it by color. So if I would do this, now it would show me, all the champions that have this specific debuff
Right.
that I need to complete this trial. Obviously, you also need to deal damage, right? So it's not really those
Only
champions are not
that.
really completing these trials by itself.
Klazar can do it.
Say again? Sorry.
Klazar can do it.
Oh yeah, he can do it. Yeah. Oh my days. Did you pull him? I think you pulled him, right?
Yeah, I pulled him.
Oh,
He's
you
amazing. He's
you
amazing.
lucky one, huh? I actually
The
tried to
universe
go.
was by my side.
Yeah, yeah. I actually tried to go for him as well. I pulled like 3 void Legos, but it was not him. I can't pull Ogrins at all. Like it's not possible for my account.
I had that feeling for a while, but I got him mysteriously.
Yeah, so now that we're speaking of him, how do you feel about this champion? I think it's like one of the best, in my opinion, champions that have been released for Chimera in the last year since the release.
Yeah, I think he's a Chimera masterpiece because when we were talking about that off camera,
Yeah.
but when you're talking about Chimera trials, there are three things that are very important. First are the colors of the Chimera each week. So the affinities matters a lot to choose what champions you're going to use, because if you want to do damage, to deliver damage, you cannot risk that much weak hits. If you want to deliver debuffs, you cannot risk that much weak hits.
Yeah.
And if you're having to risk the weak hits, you're going to have to do reruns of the key so many times. because in the right moment that you need to deliver, it has 30%, 40% chance of that not happening, and it's going to proc a lot, you
Oh
know?
yeah.
So first, his void affinity. So everything that you need to do, damage or buffs and debuffs, he's going to deliver that pretty easy. Second, he does not need accuracy to do anything that he does, which is crazy. So another point for him. Third, he has insane amount of useful buffs and debuffs on his kit. So he's able to fulfill six trials by himself, almost, which is by far one of the highest amounts of a single champion can do. And the last point, he is a damage dealer.
Mm.
So he can do all that while doing damage. So you're going to break the point of affinity is not going to be a problem. To have a lot of buffs and debuffs is not to go to be a problem for him. And he has a third thing, he fulfills two roles at the same time: the debuffer role and buffer at some point, and the damage dealer. So he does so many things at once that I think none other champion can do it for Chimera the way this champion does. There are other very, very good champions that can almost achieve that. For example, mythical champions like Calamitus,
Mm.
they are going to almost achieve that, but they have affinity.
Yeah.
Krazak does not have his void. So he's on the top of that list.
Amazing. Yeah. I mean, is his damage coming from this passive that he has, or is it the
Yeah.
damage itself on the
His
on
damage
this?
multipliers are not very high. You can put a ton. I put like my best defense damage dealing gear on him, 9 pieces of musclers, everything. But his damage is not that insanely high. His raw damage is not insanely high. But he's able to do 200 million, 300 million per hit, 300k, 400k per hit. And he's able to deliver more 1 million,
Hmm.
sometimes 600 from the passive, and that compounds his damage, when you have the passive damage plus the raw damage together, you have him hitting for 1 million per hit, sometimes 1.5 million. And that's really interesting, because he's going to be able to deliver the damage and also deliver the trials at the same champion.
Yeah, that is exactly what you want, right? Like one champion that does multiple things, and this is pretty much what this list is also about. And a little off note, I saw a team that did 24 trials or something with him. So
Yeah,
yeah, it might not take much longer to come up with a team that can do all the trials, right? We're like
the
very
27
close.
trials.
Yeah,
We're almost there, missing three.
yeah. So yeah, pretty amazing. Yeah, so now you have champions like him, right? Like that do multiple things. And I also want to touch on that affinity thing, which is for me sometimes really annoying because you spend so much time, right, to do these runs and everything needs to be perfect and then you're weak hitting for that one thing. Or what is even worse for the trial, let me actually show that in game on the RAM form, right? When you need to block the stuns, that is also affected by weak hits, but not the weak hits that you're doing, the weak hits that the
Yeah,
Chimera is doing to you. So you're kind of getting
exactly.
punished for bringing the right affinity, right?
Yeah,
Or the strong affinity.
and that's
So
a
that's
pain.
also something that is, I think, in my opinion, that skill should be changed a little bit. What do you think about that? Just a
It
little.
would make our life easier if the Chimera ignore affinity on that skill, but if it was unresistible or always, she always delivered that. I think it's already unresistible, but she will lands the weak hits, and at the moment it's something troublesome, because this is a trial that it is sometimes, most of the times, RNG based. You need to have the full setup, and you need a little bit of RNG to happen on your
Mm,
side. So that's annoying, because usually this is a trial that you need to do the first three forms to do it on the second time the RAM forms happens. So you already had three forms of the Chimera done when we were able to try that trial.
True. Yep.
And the RNG happens, you need to reset again. So you need to do the whole half of the run again to be able to try it again. And that's very hard. It is the same thing with the Viper. When you have the revive trial on the Viper, and you probably will not be able to do it on the first form when it comes for the first time. So you're gonna wait for the second one, and if you fails it, you're gonna need to redo the entire run because you're gonna need it to wait for the second form of the
Yep.
Viper comes again to do it again. And if you fails, do everything again. It is
Restart.
it is annoying.
um, yeah. So speaking about this trial, though, I think there are only two champions maybe that can do this, or is there another one? Like there's Balar, right? And there's
The poison trials, you say?
yeah, Theodore, right?
There's a lot of champions that can do it, but
I mean,
who
fast
can do
enough.
it?
Fast enough.
Who can do it in a very, very good way? It is
Mm,
harder because without compromising many roles of the team, Balar is the most efficient one, and the
yeah.
Theodore is the second one. But Theodore, you're going to sacrifice damage. Balar, you're not going to sacrifice damage. But they are the most easier ways of doing it. There is a very other easy way to do it, but it's going to make a so much more troublesome run. That is to put Lydia into poison set. It happens. You can do it. Even Klazag can do it
Oh, he can
if he,
transfer, right?
yeah, he can transfers, and he transfers with A1, which it is easier to do with him. He has a counterattack and things like that. So you can do it. Hiho can do it with the reflect,
Yeah.
but it's harder to set up the team to do it. It's to do it passively. It is a way harder than to do it actively. Ballard does it actively. Theodore does it actively. Lydia with poison set does it actively, but needs a little bit more RNG. But Hiho can do it passively. Kalazaga can do it passively, which is harder to do but possible.
I
And
also saw.
again,
Yeah. Sorry.
as I said, it is a in the last form that you're trying. If you need RNG to do it and RNG fails, oh my
Uh,
god, how many times you're gonna have to restart?
yeah. Speaking about that, like it just comes to my mind. I saw a team where someone was running Geo, and I think it was Androck, and he was pretty much relying on the A-ones with like a 50% chance to place, the decreased accuracy and the decreased defense and so on. And that is wild. Like I don't want to know how many times he had to retry this, how much time he spent to do this, but he got it done, and I have nothing but respect for that. That is like for someone that knows how much time it takes. Wow, I'm super impressed.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So yeah, I guess there are a lot of champions that are providing those debuffs, but as you say, like not many can do it fast enough. We have Balar here. How about Kaldor? I think Kaldor is a very overlooked champion when it comes to Chimera.
Because he's hard to he's a really interesting champion, but he's hard to play. He's hard to play. I don't know. His skills has different effects if you use them on your champions or in the enemy. And if you're trying to do something that uses auto at minimal way, this is going to be almost impossible
Hmm.
because he does not use the skills on your champions or in the boss when you want it to use. So no auto for this champion. This champion is a manual only champion. And but at the same time, he can do debuffs, buffs, and at the same time, he can do damage, which
Hmm.
is another good category of champions that can do everything, but a little bit more difficult to set up. And every champion that you put in your team that is from his faction is going to change the way you build him. So he's a very, very volatile champion, It, you have to synergize him well with the whole team to make him works. You can set up him in like 9 protection to give more damage from the continuous heal. You can set up him in 9 Pharaoh to get damage from the Chris defense poisons and weaken. You can set him in full damage and take advantage of his damage. Having in mind your critical rate and things, ignore defense will change according to the team that you use. So he's not a easy champion. I would say he's hardcore.
Yeah, yeah, I can see that. He definitely needs, like, he's one of those that needs a specific setup of like a specific team to enable him, right? To make him work.
Yeah.
And
People have to think so much to use him that people don't want to think and let me don't
yeah,
use him.
yeah.
Let me put another thing.
Speaking of which, the one champion that is enabling so much in my opinion is, this one right here, right? This one makes everything easier.
Until
And
2 weeks ago, there were no good trial teams without her. She
yeah,
was like a masterpiece because it was when you're thinking about a Chimera team that is focused on trials, you have things that you want to feel. First, it is the buffs and debuffs to be able to do the trials. Second are the roles. You need a reviver, you need a damage dealer, you need a support champion. This is mandatory for everything that you want to do
yeah.
because without that, you're going to suffer a lot to do the keys and probably you won't be able to do the trials, all the trials. So you have two spots that you can change, swap, but these three you are obligatorily going to need for your team to work: a reviver, a damage dealer, and a support.
Yeah.
And the duo between Galathir and Fina and all the things that they bring to the team was unreplaceable. They were the best couple to do trials because they fulfill all the revive and support roles by themselves with an insane amount of buffs, insane amount of utility, and with insane high performance. These two champions as a duo, they are still amazing. But 2 weeks ago, we had Klazag introduced it to the game. And Klazag is a champion that can take away Fina from the team. You don't need a Fina anymore if you have a Klazag and with a specific team. So it is the first time since Chimera was launched that we see a team that is as good as Fina Galatir without Fina.
That's amazing. I actually love to see this. Like, we need more champions like this, in my opinion, that are just doing a lot of stuff, and enable more comps. Because, like you said,
Yeah.
a couple weeks ago before Keyhawk, it was pretty much either you have Fina or
Or not.
you're kind of screwed a little bit. Yeah, so
It's because she enables you to do a lot of damage with less amount of stats and a lot of safety. She's going to refresh your Nuka all the time. She's going to protect him with the block damage, so the Ram form becomes a walk in the park compared to what it is. Without her, the Ram becomes a threatening enemy, and it is very annoying. But with her, the Ram is just nothing. She makes it very easy. But Keyhook does it for the whole team, and he also has the fear. So he takes away the necessity of her in the team. But this is not a Keyhook showcase, but it's becoming it.
It is not, but it could be.
Yeah.
So yeah, you got Fina, right? You have her.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, amazing champion. I'm probably gonna try to get her next time on a progressive.
You should, because she's like in every top performance team for Chimera and Hydra, she's in it. So it's a champion that if you want to raise your level to the top performance in the game, she's going to be the champion that is going to be part of this kind of teams. So let's say she's a must-have if you want to be extremely competitive.
I agree. What I like also, on top of all the other things that she does, is that 30% crit rate buff, which is so underrated for some, like that allows you to build your champion in a completely different way with more damage. It just gives you more freedom, right? And makes it so
Yeah,
much easier.
yeah, and the refresh, you're
And the
going to make
refresh.
champions that has like really long cooldowns, able to do it every turn
Mm.
that they have, which is undisputed one of the best things that she can do. So it is amazing. Another champion that I love that I don't see people talking about is Incensa.
Oh yeah.
Incensa has like insane kit
Mm-hmm.
to use for trials, and her utility is beyond that. It's like Fina. The utility of Fina is not just buffing your champions and things like that. It's how much damage she increases on the run, refreshing the nuke all the time, or refreshing whoever you want on your team all the time, which is insane. It's the same with Incensa. Incensa is a void champion, so you don't have problems with landing buffs or debuffs. At the same time, she brings so much. She brings safety, she brings heals, she brings speed boost, she brings utility, she brings attack down, she brings decreased defense, she brings weaken, and on day one, she brings Yonuka.
Mm.
And the amount of damage that brings to your team is maybe the difference between doing one key or not doing the damage of
Mm.
one key. And that's incredible amount of utility, and people sleeps on that part because of all her kit. Everything is important, but her A1 is the most important thing.
Wow. Pretty interesting. Fun fact: when I went for Keyhawk, I pulled her, so I was not too sad. Like I was okay. At least I got one new toy that I can use. So
Very interesting one, by the way.
yeah, very unique kit, right? With the decreased attack plus the decreased defense and weaken. Like there's only this champion that can do it, I think. And what I wanted to ask you about Incensado or Incensa, I don't know how to pronounce the name correctly, but the poison cloud. If you place the poison cloud on your like dual target, does he survive the ram attacks or
No, you
no?
still receive the damage. The damage from the reflect is not does not count as a normal damage, let's say like that. You're gonna receive it without your reductions and things like that. It's based on your damage,
Oh, the
you
reflect
know?
damage. But if you
Yeah.
wanna survive that dual target attack, where for
No,
the dual
oh,
bar,
yeah, yeah. The damage that she does, or the multiple hit that the Ren
yeah.
does, yes. The duel. Yeah, you is going to work. For the duel is going to work.
Okay, that's
It's
good
going
to
to
know.
reduce the damage, but it's not
Yeah,
going to be zero.
yeah.
Okay? It's exactly for the lion too. The lion, when he puts the mark, you can put poison cloud in the champion. The lion is going to still hit hard, and he hits very hard, but he's not going to be able to critical,
Mm,
and that's really good. And it's not going to be insane amount of damage that you cannot tank. The poison cloud is a really good survivability thing, but does not tank the reflect. Because some
okay.
people think, okay, I cannot take damage when I use poison cloud, but you can. So
Mm.
you're going to be there and you're gonna attack the ram and you're going to kill yourself. And that happened to me because the first time I tried it, okay, I don't need Definer anymore. I can just use Incense. And I was like, boom, and I'm dead.
I'm
Okay,
dead.
does not tank it. Need to think about my strategy again.
Yeah, that's basically what was my thought too. Like maybe this will also negate the whole reflect damage thing, but
That's not.
luckily you went through that already and can tell me. So yeah, nice.
Yeah.
So, but regardless, it is still an amazing skill, right? Um,
It brings you a easy pass on the lion because it's not going to kill the target from the mark, so it's not going to splash damage to your whole team. It's make you safer, also gives turn meter heal and everything to the champion, and on the viper helps you to do the trial with increased speed that you need for that trial, which is also good.
mm,
And it's going to accelerate the turn of your nuker, so it's going to deliver more damage. She's a damage upgrader to your team
mm,
because the amount of things she's going to do to raise your natural line of damage is insane. And if you have the opportunity of putting her in Relentless plus Merciless, 4 pieces of Relentless, 4 pieces of Merciless, and use the Perseid Shadow as relic, you have the whole setup to make her have like 5 turns in a row very commonly. And that's 5 turns is going to bring your Nuka 3 times with her. And suddenly your Nuka does 1 million damage on his turn and 3 million damage on her turn. It is insane. She becomes the real Nuka of the team.
Yeah. Would you say the Purge Shadow Relic is the best support relic for Chimera?